The internet, and more specifically social media, have fundamentally changed the Jehovah's Witnesses and how they even retain their members. In this video, we're going to break down how this has affected their memberships and how it's a major headache for Watchtower. Let's talk about it. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Monica for those who are new, and if you are a returning subby, welcome back. Let's get into the video. Before we get into the specific reasons as to why social media and the internet is negatively affecting the Jehovah's Witnesses, I wanted to give you guys just a glimpse of my analytics. This is a screenshot of my analytics on YouTube, and I wanted to show you guys that firstly, men and women are leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses. I was even surprised to see that it's actually more men on my specific page that watch my content, but women are definitely there as well. Everyone is leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, what shocked me is the age groups. I didn't expect teenagers to watch my content, but as you guys can see here, there's almost 1% of people between the ages of 13 to 17 who watch my content. Then I have a good chunk of 18 to 24-year-olds. Then the majority of my audience is actually people between the ages of 25 to 34, as well as 35 to 44-year-olds. But guys, the older demographic, not to say that these people are old, but I'm just saying older as in 45-year-olds to 65-year-olds and over, there's a good majority as well. There are so many people leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses at all age groups. So if you are someone there who's sitting on the fence wondering should you leave or not, like you're not sure, look at the analytics. Everyone is leaving. Now let's unpack why social media has been playing such a key role in all of this. Firstly, there's easier access now to apostate information. The internet has exposed Jehovah's Witnesses to critical information that they were previously shielded from. As someone who grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, what I can tell you is that the governing body goes out of its way to make sure that members do not consume information from outside sources. You are told that even when you do research about the Jehovah's Witnesses, to only use their own publications. And that's actually one of the reasons I was able to kind of leave the Jehovah's Witnesses, where when I went to university and I started doing like research for assignments, we were always encouraged to use different sources of information and to not always just go for like a source that agrees with your hypothesis or whatever idea you have. And I think that for me was when something switched in my brain, where I was like, oh, in the academic space, you are actually encouraged to look at contradicting thoughts or hypotheses, and you try to like work out what resonates with you. And I was like, why don't we have this in the Jehovah's Witness organization or community? And for me, that was like a red flag going off there, that how can you do research on something yet all of your sources only come from one source? Should you not have different sources? So the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses really go out of their way to shield members. However, they cannot stop members from accessing websites and other social media platforms like YouTube, where there's accounts run by former members of Jehovah's Witnesses like myself, where we share history, scandals, and even doctrinal contradictions from this organization. And I think one thing that we all probably didn't realize is that this would also create communities where we can all come together and provide support, and most importantly, validation that, hey, you are not crazy. What you're going through is very much valid. And I've also experienced that, and I'm here for you to support you on your journey as well. And we're just making it easier for each other to essentially leave this high control religion. And that is definitely thank you to social media. Now, secondly, and just to continue on my point on how Watchtower has been trying to control information, it has lost that battle. The Jehovah's Witness leadership has strict rules against reading apostate material. We all know this, but they can't stop members once again from secretly researching online. And guys, researching online about the Jehovah's Witnesses is honestly so easy. Like literally, you just type in Jehovah's Witnesses scandal on YouTube and things just come up. Leaked documents, secret recordings, and court cases such as the CSA scandals have gone viral, which has damaged the Watchtower's credibility so much. Members can now literally fact check the Jehovah's Witnesses in real time. So they can say something right now and people can just look it up on the internet and see, is this true or not? And this is going to make things so much more difficult now as well for the Jehovah's Witnesses, because as we know, they need to keep re-engaging their members about, hey, the world is ending. They're probably going to come up with a new date. Who knows? But now all of these things have become harder and harder because information is so accessible. They can't control it. And members can literally just click on their phones, the little computers they have in their pockets, and see, is the Watchtower really telling us the truth here, or what's actually going on? So Watchtower has lost control of information and it has tarnished their brand and credibility. I know for me, another thing that made me leave this organization was watching the Royal Commission on YouTube. Like, that court case or that court proceeding was honestly mind-blowing. Firstly, to see the men outright lying, especially a governing body member, and then that lawyer asking such critical and important questions. That lawyer was so amazing. You could tell he knew his business because he was asking the right questions. And I was just in such awe, in so much shock, because at that time I actually hadn't left the Jehovah's Witnesses in 2016. I was still contemplating on leaving, but I needed a reason to leave, because yes, I wanted to leave, but I felt like I didn't have a reason. So I started doing research, and guys, the Royal Commission was damning, I tell you. And it's information like that where the Watchtower can't control it and can't tell members, hey, don't watch. Well, they can tell you not to watch it, but you will still watch it online. And not being able to control people in that environment or that instance has literally destroy them. And that is thank you to social media. At number 3, social media connects Jehovah's Witnesses to worldly people. We all know that Jehovah's Witnesses are heavily discouraged from associating with people who are not part of the religion, who are also called worldly people. And this is a controlled tactic by the governing body. They want to control your community, essentially, who you spend your time with, how much time you spend with those people. Because if you are part of a tight-knit community full of secrecy, it's very much difficult to penetrate and even harder to leave. Because if you were to leave, you lose everything. However, platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok have allowed these members to make friends with people on the outside. And this has led to people being now exposed to different perspectives and learning that, oh, people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses are still good people. They are still decent people. In fact, some of them are even better than Jehovah's Witnesses. Some of them are even more kind, more generous, more caring. And this weakens the control of the Watchtower on its members. Many Jehovah's Witnesses secretly follow Exjw pages out of curiosity, and this often leads to them questioning their faith. And you can see this very, very easily on my platform or on my videos, guys. Like, literally just look at my comment section. There's always an active Jehovah's Witness who's trying to argue with someone or even me about a certain point. And I always try to just talk to them with kindness, even though they are not kind, even though they are very much rude and harsh, and sometimes just plainly disrespectful. However, the fact that they are here watching content they are not supposed to be watching says it all. Watchtower is losing control over these people. Now, let's unpack how online dating has challenged the no dating outside of the Jehovah's Witnesses rule. For those that don't know, Jehovah's Witnesses are not allowed to date people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses. And basically, this is another control tactic again to make sure that your community, your spouse, your children, they're all Jehovah's Witnesses, so that when you want to leave, it's harder for you to leave. However, dating apps have become the norm in our society, and this is basically how most people nowadays meet their significant other. And when Jehovah's Witnesses try to partake on these apps, because it is quite difficult to also meet your spouse as a Jehovah's Witness because the dating pool within the community is so small. So when you join a dating app, you are more than likely going to interact with someone who is not a Jehovah's Witness. And then this is going to lead to someone falling in love with someone who's a non-believer, obviously, and then causing this person to drift away or eventually leaving altogether. And this is what Watchtower truly hates, and that's why they discourage people dating and being with someone outside of the religion. And this sometimes leads to people then having to live a double life. They'll pretend to be faithful to the religion while still dating people on the outside and having a completely different life. And this has just made things so much harder for Watchtower. And I am here for it. If it's love that's going to save you from a high control religion or this cult, I am 100% for it. Then we have the rise of Exjw influencers and YouTubers. Former witnesses like myself, we are now using YouTube and TikTok to expose Watchtower and its teachings in ways that are easier to understand and engage with. And this has led to viral videos featuring shocking facts, personal testimonies, and even how the doctrines of the Jehovah's Witnesses contradict themselves. And this has woken up thousands and thousands of people. When I uploaded this video 3 years ago, it honestly changed my life. I was able to connect with so many people all over the world who validated my experience, who said, Monica, we see you, we understand what you've gone through, and thank you for sharing your story. And I feel like if you are someone who has gone to house field service and you have attempted to recruit people into this religion, you have an obligation to now go back and say, I'm sorry, I am no longer part of this high control religion, and I have to warn you about it because you've tried to recruit people, and that's why I create this content. I try to basically rectify my past mistakes through educating people today, and it's also therapy. Like, I'm learning so much and unlearning at the same time as well, and I've been able to build a community. The more we share our stories as to why we have left the Jehovah's Witnesses, the harder it becomes for Watchtower to silence us and control the narrative, because all of us have now taken our power back, and that's what they fear. Now, if there's one thing I love about the internet, it's how Watchtower can no longer hide their scandals. The internet has shattered their fake clean image by exposing how they are an organization that covers up child abuse. We've seen the legal cases, we've seen how they lie in court, and the leaked documents and leaked emails where elders are literally told to hide and protect perpetrators. They also have financial dealings that are very much questionable, how they've been selling kingdom halls left, right, and center to basically liquidate some of their assets, so they have money for all of these court cases and legal proceedings that are springing up globally, and how they can't even come up with another end of time prediction because people now have access to information and the internet exists. So you cannot come here and come up with fake date and say, oh yeah, the world is ending by this date, thinking people are still going to believe you when 1914 happened, when 1975 happened, and the earth is still standing till this day. Before the internet, the governing body could easily control the narrative around this organization. But now, with just a simple Google search, you can literally learn the whole history of the Jehovah's Witnesses. And that is the beauty of the internet. I am so grateful for it. And then lastly, more and more witnesses are now learning about other belief systems. Watchtower literally went out of its way to paint other religions as false and evil when they are actually the religion that is false and evil. And social media has exposed us to different perspectives. Often you'll hear ex-Jehovah's Witnesses saying that they stayed in the religion because they didn't know anything else. But now that they've allowed themselves to explore spirituality, philosophy, and history online, their eyes have just been opened. And this is something I always try to encourage in my videos, is that learn to have a relationship with God on your own. And whatever form of faith or religion or spirituality that resonates with you, it's exactly that. It resonates with you. I am not a big fan of organized religion, but that's just me, Monica. I do not have any control over your life. You need to decide for yourself what truly resonates with you. If it's being a Christian, it's being a Christian. If it's Islam, it's Islam. If it's Judaism, it's Judaism. If it's African spirituality, it's African spirituality. Stay true to yourself and what resonates with you. There are so many other belief systems around the world, and if you feel like you need a belief system in your life, allow yourself to explore it, to learn about other religions, different perspectives, and just inform yourself. Remember, doing your own research is very important. And now with the internet, it has become so easy. You kind of don't have an excuse for being wrapped up in a cult in this day and age, when you can literally just Google Jehovah's Witnesses and you see everything being aired out. In conclusion, we can now see that Watchtower has always relied on isolating its members, censoring them, and controlling them to keep them inside. But the internet has made this so much more harder because information is now accessible, global, and unstoppable. Young people are leaving, as I showed you guys my analytics, and older people are also waking up because they are seeing these leaked scandals and doctrinal changes that don't make sense, which is quite evident to see that, oh, it's actually just about the money. Watchtower can no longer silence critics, and their attempts to ban social media have backfired. There are so many Exjw groups on Facebook, Exjw content on TikTok and YouTube, even Instagram. You can learn about this religion anyway. The internet is proving to be one of the biggest threats to the Jehovah's Witnesses and its memberships, and it's only a matter of time before they have to radically change their approach or continue to decline as an organization and have us witness the demise of this cult, which of course would make us happy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.